Chapter 17. Back to School. I woke up to loud noises outside. A blare of sunlight was on my face, and I had to squint and cover my eyes from the strong rays. I hadn't closed the curtains before I fell asleep. I bent toward my alarm clock and noticed it was 6 o'clock in the morning. School was at 8. The noises grew louder, and I got out of bed, grouchy that I couldn't sleep any longer. Hope wasn't in her floating waterbed. I saw the water ripples on her bed and noticed it wasn't flowing one way. She didn't make her bed. Next to my bed, I saw a note on Hope's cabinet. A surprise is waiting for you. Dress well and don't forget to wear these special shoes. Your BFF, Hope. I widened my eyes and read over the note again. My heart fluttered unexpectedly at the word surprise, and I broke into a smile when I saw the pair of lace black boots with high heels. Quickly, I pulled my bed cover over my bed sheets and made sure it was flat and neat before changing into a violet dress that Grandma had left for me on my table. Brushing my dark tangles of hair, I put on some transparent pink lip gloss Hope got me, applied some blush on my cheeks, and curled my eyelashes. My hair was set, and I decided to do a half-up, half-down hairstyle instead of tying it into 2 long pigtails. I'm ready, I told myself as I put on the boots, and I almost forgot to take my school bag with me. I opened the door, and a load of different colored petals fell over me. My mouth was hanging as I saw the huge crowd of fairies in front of me and closed my ears. It was too loud. They were all holding flowers, balloons, sparkly streamers, flags, banners, and gift bags. I realized they were thanking us for what we did. Was this the surprise Hope mentioned about? A squeal erupted in the crowd, and I found myself nearly engulfed by the mob of fairies. Take this! The nearest fairy, with golden hair tied in a high ponytail, with dark brown eyes, slipped a flower bouquet into my hands. This is for you! A male fairy next to her was blushing as well as he gave me a pair of red roses. I was too stunned to say much. Thank you. Pile on pile, my whole room entrance was cluttered with flowers, balloons, streamers, flags, banners, and gifts. Fairies, you are too nice, but please let me through. I heard a familiar voice. It was Hope's. She was carrying a load of gifts, using her water magic, and unsurprisingly, they weren't wet. Hope! I nearly cried. Finally, you are here! She whispered, beaming with pride. This is like a dream come true. We're famous now. Then she directed her magic to the pile of gifts and set her gifts right next to mine. I noticed she was wearing a pink gown. I gazed at the crowd uneasily and whispered back, We should go to Flame, Nix, and Mai. Who knows what they're dealing with? Hope told me that Mai lived very near to Flame and Nix's room, and as we made our way through the crowd, more and more fairies came and greeted me with gifts. I smiled at them, but couldn't accept their gifts. It was worse than I had expected. A group of girls were swarming Flame and Nix, and I heard some shouts saying, Flame is a hero! Please marry me! And, Nix, you are a true knight! Poor Flame and Nix. Hope and I frowned and noticed being the center of attention was quite the trouble. I made my way to Nix and Flame and laughed. Don't worry, all is well. We're here. Flame looked relieved. I thought we were never going to be able to find you. I noticed that the boys were in pretty plain clothes, and I blushed, feeling overdressed. Hey, everyone! Mai came from the crowd, who was also dressed normally. I made it through the jumble. Nix nodded and said, How are we going to get to school? At this rate, it would take years. What a nightmare. He noticed that Night was written with lipstick on his cheek and cringed. Oh, Nix, Hope mumbled, shaking her head, and she used her magical water to rinse it off. A loud voice boomed through the crowd. Fairy students! You may go back to your rooms. It is too early in the morning to disturb your schoolmates, my grandma said in her formal Miss Rosie Herb's voice. Grandma was wearing a pretty dark purple formal dress, and she turned to us. Children, fly! As fast as you can! Meet me in the fairy office. We nodded, and we took off. Only Hope was enthusiastic. "They're thanking us for saving Fairyland from the Troll King. I mean, we did literally restore all the fairy crystals. We're famous as Evergreen White Hot." She clasped her hands together with a dreamy expression on her face. I narrowed my eyes, remembering the Troll King. "Where's Charlie?" "Charlie?" Hope echoed me. "Charlie's in the fairy dungeon. Miss Rosieherbs put him in for a life sentence. That old guy deserved it," Flame said, crossing his arms. Mai agreed. "We're here," Nyx announced as we reached a tiny crystal building labeled Fairy School Office. We walked in and saw Miss Rosieherbs and my parents, who were also dressed in fancy dark purple clothes. "I apologize for the misconduct. I knew this was going to happen, and it was going around the school last week when you were on your quest. I have decided to settle this by holding a fairy council meeting during your first class, and all will receive your respects secretly, as it will make the others go even more wild if they saw," Grandma said. Flame tore a hand through his hair. "Will my parents be there? I didn't tell them I was going on a quest." "Me neither," Hope said, biting her lip. Grandma chuckled. "Hope, Nyx, and Mai, I already told your parents about your quest, and at first they were a little mad, but now they are happy that you've returned safely. Flame, yours were not so happy about any of this, but I made sure they were attending the council meeting. Maybe you can change their mind, and maybe give them a new perspective of the other Fairyland families." Flame nodded nervously, and I took his hand. "We believe in you, Flame." He looked down, unable to meet our eyes. "I'll try." "Come on, I'll show you my surprise." Hope grabbed my hand and took me to our room. I noticed there was a new dark brown wooden wardrobe with fancy golden handles. "Wow, thanks for the new wardrobe, Hope," I exclaimed, dazzled. "I got it because you don't have one." She clapped her hands in happiness. "But that's not all. Open the wardrobe." I went to the wardrobe and opened it. It was magical, as it was a whole room inside the wardrobe. There were beautiful outfits, shoes, jewelry, and toiletries. There were even books and stationery items. "This is so amazing! This is the best gift in the whole world," I blurted out. "You needed this. You are still new to Fairyland, and you don't have many things, so I asked the others and your parents to help." I hugged Hope. "You are my best friend ever." She checked her watch. "Oh no, we are getting late for our meeting." We ran to Mr. Citrus Ray's class, which was difficult with my boots on. "Oh, there you two are." My grandma spotted us, and she pushed us into 2 seats. "Let's start this meeting. I hope you all have your speeches ready," Miss Starcrest, the vice principal, announced. Speeches? I didn't know we had to prepare speeches. I started getting nervous and felt butterflies in my stomach. "Hope, you may come to the stage." Hope looked at me and I gave a thumbs up. She went forward and started giving her speech, which she didn't prepare either. I realized none of us made our speeches because we didn't have enough time. "Dendalia, you may come now." I heard my name being called as I started to zone out. "Huh?" I caught myself from saying, and I walked to the stage. I wasn't anything without my friends on this side of the quest. Everyone was extremely helpful, and I am even alive and speaking right now because of them. Occasionally, we got into arguments, but we were still one team. I am so thankful that we succeeded in restoring the Fairyland crystals and finding my missing parents. I smiled at Flame and the others. We have done so many things together. Merry Magic Pebbles came running into the council room. "I just got news about your little brother." "What?" I shouted, startled, and forgot that I was in the middle of a speech. I ran up to her with my boots nearly twisting my ankle on the way. "He has been kidnapped from his orphanage." End of The Enchanted 5, written by Smrithi Srinivasan and Trina Sarkar. All rights reserved.